So guys, Joe Biden may be cutting access to the stimulus checks. One of his crucial promises to win those Georgia Senate runoffs, the $2,000 checks, he and Democratic leadership may slash who actually gets the checks, which would be totally, unmitigatedly a disaster for the Democrats. I want to read you some reporting from the Huffington Post because this is real. It says here, Democrats are exploring ways to limit the cost of stimulus checks that would go to households in hopes of gaining Republican support for their next coronavirus pandemic relief bill. During a meeting at the White House on Wednesday, Joe Biden and top Senate Democrats held a quote-unquote conversation about the direct payments and how those might be modified in a way to ensure they've targeted, Senator Chris Coons told reporters. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said the administration is considering lowering the income level of people who receive the check, but not the amount of money itself. Democrats have embraced Biden's America Rescue Plan, a $1.9 trillion package that includes unemployment benefits, vaccine distribution funding, and direct payments worth $1,400 per person, and have begun the legislative process that would allow them to pass a bill without any Republican support. Congress approved the $1,200 checks to most Americans in March 2020 and followed it up with a round of 600 payments in December. Biden's proposal would make up the difference between the recent checks and his campaign promise to deliver payments worth $2,000. The more targeted approach, as lawmakers call it, would lower the annual income threshold above which people no longer receive the full payment. Lowering the threshold would result in some of the wealthier households that got $600 payments missing out on the $1,400 follow-up. Guys, this is a disaster. I am not exaggerating it. It's absolutely a disaster. I already think the $1,400 move is scummy and a broken promise, and it's going to make some people angry. But ultimately, I feel Biden would get away with it because you can hypothetically make the 14 plus 6 equals 2,000 argument. You can hypothetically make that argument. But you did not say anything about revised eligibility in those Georgia Senate runoffs. You said nothing. So even if we're going to believe you on the 14 plus 6, even if, let's say we do, then certainly you cannot cut who gets the checks or who gets how much from the checks. Because let's say the 14 plus 6 is the real legitimate argument. Then it's not two distinct checks with two distinct eligibility parameters. It's one check in two installments. It's one payout in two installments. And if you make it so that some people that got the first $600 installment don't get anything or get something less this time around, you are breaking your promise. You promised people $2,000. And so reasonably, at the very least, anyone who got the 600 should get the 1,400. At the very least, if somebody voted for you because they got the 600 and this time they only get 1,000 or they don't get anything, you have lied to them, Joe Biden. You lied to them if that happened. 100%. Again, I think you've already lied with the 14. But like that aside, you have lied to them, and it is politically disastrous. People need money, and it's very difficult to determine what people's on-the-ground immediate situation is. So, when in doubt, give broadly. Give broadly and figure out a solution afterwards. This is not a time to penny pinch, and this is not a time to do excessive gatekeeping around who needs help and who doesn't. Give people the money. If anything, it should be broader and bigger, but like give people the money on the same parameters as the 6 back before Christmas, around Christmas. Give them the 14. Frankly, give them the full 2, but don't cut eligibility. It will absolutely, positively demolish you. And I don't give one single damn about getting a single goddamn Republican to vote for your stupid bill. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you get 52 votes or 53. You're going to pass it if you get Manchin and Sinema. It doesn't matter if you get a Republican. It doesn't. It should not matter. Bipartisanship is stupid. It is stupid. I'm going to say that. It's dumb. And look, the line from the Biden White House on this, from some of his staffers was correct. I believe it was his chief of staff who said, look, our bill is already bipartisan. 60% of the country supports it. Remember that 80% of Americans supported the $2,000 checks weeks ago. I did polling on that, or I covered polling on that showed still support from Republicans for $2,000 checks even after Biden became president and Trump was out of the White House. The bill is already bipartisan. Get it done. Stop committing, self-destruction. Stop committing, self-immolation or whatever. Stop doing it. Get the bill passed. Get people the money you promised them, and you will get off to a good start. Don't take one of the first big decisions of your presidency and basically seal your fate for 2022 already. The Democrats, even they shouldn't F this one up, and I'm afraid they might do that.